where a lot of large companies are worried about their patent expiry and how do they replenish a pipeline. We have such an abundant pipeline because our platform is working. It's working in a lot of therapeutic area. And so I think we're going to have a lot of growth for a really long time.
One of the questions from my small part of my interview with Moderna CEO Stefan Bancel this morning, highlighting more room for pipeline growth after the stock more than doubled in a day on news of its melanoma vaccine treatment in partnership with Merck. I want to bring in Malek, Siebert's financial CEO. Mark, and if some people missed the boat on Moderna, I mean, that stock, I mean, look, obviously it was a vaccine company during the pandemic, and then it fell apart, the market. I mean, at one point that market cap was, what, 200 billion? Yeah. That all got erased. But now, with this Merck partnership, the hope is that they're going to move from being a vaccine company to being a cancer treatment company. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, well, it's very, very interesting, right? Because, we're always searching for the new thing, right? And we've been rooting around in that space for quite some time, looking for some great opportunities. The question always is, especially with stuff like this, is how early are we right now? Certainly has, I mean, it's an incredible, it looks like it's an incredible opportunity, but it's not quite as far ahead as maybe, let's say, the AI trade, right? This is very early days at this point. It's fantastic that they've proven that it can be used to treat the melanoma, but whether it is scalable, whether it's affordable, and whether a whole host of other companies now jump into that bandwagon, that's the excitement. But in terms of Moderna itself, maybe we sort of missed that train. I mean, it took off out of the station pretty fast. I think chasing at this point is probably a dangerous game to play. But it certainly shows that there are going to be more opportunities that might come here. And of course, its partner Merck. Maybe that's the opportunity in this whole thing. Well,
certainly, and he did tell me that the next trials, the next targets, it is kidney cancer, it is lung cancer, pancreatic cancer. So, if they can make traction there, then maybe you do have some kind of miracle, if you will, in getting us truly to get ahead of cancer. Great for humanity. We'll see how it treats investors at the end of the day. Right?
Sure, and of course we haven't seen the analysts really respond yet to what they just learned, right? So until they can start building out a TAM and seeing what the potential growth is, right now it's kind of hard to do it because they're sort of flying blindly right now at this point. But we'll see. I mean, it's definitely going to firm up, and the opportunity hopefully will become much more clear as this thing sort of propagates through.
Well, let's switch over here and talk about AI because the biggest report on earnings season obviously is on deck this week after the close. We're gonna get Nvidia. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, there's just so much invested right now in what Nvidia comes out and says on Wednesday. It's unbelievable, right? I mean, they're still at the center of that whole universe at this point. They're operating on all cylinders. They're doing absolutely everything correctly at this point. Unfortunately, even the best of companies, at some point, you have to slow down. You can't always only have good news. We're anticipating good news here, but so is everybody. So good news is not good enough anymore, as you well know. And any kind of misread or misstep on this Wednesday could be a big challenge for us. Look, it depends on what I always look at that as an opportunity, right? So there will probably be opportunities, right? They're doing nothing wrong at this point. Their runway can keep going for quite some time at this point, even with the bounces, right? We prefer to only go up, but we know things don't only always go up.
Always go up. Well, no, I had Kenny Polcari on with me this morning, and he said, look, he said expectations are so enormous in NVIDIA that a beat may not be enough, that they've got to beat in a big way, which I thought was really interesting. But there's other names. There's other ways to play AI. And you like quanta services. This is
yeah. So a lot of us have been trying to sort of spread out that bet a little bit, right? We know the benefits of NVIDIA, but obviously these data center build-outs, the whole driver of that is all the build-outs, right? And the capex that we always like to talk so much about. There is absolutely no sign that that's slowing down at this stage. And so that said, building those things out are not just those chips, but there are a whole host of other things that might be a little cheaper and might be a little bit less volatile, right? So that's why we try to look at what we would call sort of the more boring stuff, right? Like the cooling and the power and the transmission of power, things like that, where again, these are less volatile, right? They're more value plays in some cases. Vertiv is more of a value play because it sort of bounced down a little bit.
You like Vertiv?
Yeah, because that sort of bounced down a little bit, and it's very necessary, right? And so, like a couple of of other ones which are more reliant on people and less reliant on, sort of high tech. And these are very necessary to build out these data centers. So look, we're trying. You're not going to get the type of growth that you're going to get out of a company like maybe Micron or a company like Nvidia or Broadcom or something like that.
Sure.
But right, we can't put all of our eggs in one basket, but we definitely believe that this is going to drive this broader base. We talk about the AI ecosystem, but everyone at the end of the day is investing in a few stocks. We really need to look at the whole ecosystem.
Well, that would be called an ETF. We heard from Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary Bessent, in the last hour. What stood out to you about his comments about Iran?
It's very interesting. I mean, so on the one hand, right, the impact on oil expected, right? Him coming out and talking about that expected and good. I mean, good news for oil, good news for certainly for inflation. But there's a big challenge with that in that, a lot of the moves that we've seen in the last couple of weeks, like we saw gold spike and we saw a couple of things happen. There's this big thing out there called the debasement trade, where people are concerned that the government is messing around too much with the dollar or using the dollar as a weapon or weaponizing the dollar. And that speech was very much weaponizing the dollar, right? So you could see that, when you saw gold rise last week. And of course, and I usually don't bring up crypto, right? But when you see Bitcoin and gold rise like that in response, it's clear that there are some people that are betting on that trade. So there are a lot of
crypto,
forces.
I mean, we've seen Bitcoin, I think I saw 77 grand or something. On
It started rallying last week. And I think a big part of that was, again, this quote unquote, this debasement trade. But that said, the Secretary Bessent has a tough challenge on his hands, right? He's trying to manage the Treasury yield curve, right? And that is a challenge in and of itself. And that's responding to macro factors that he can't necessarily control, right? So he's minding his shop the best way that he can, but there are challenges, right? Any move that he makes, there's a cost associated with it. And these are just other factors that are now going to impact how all of these things trade. The dollar, the yield, long treasury yields, and of course, hard metals, right? Gold and silver. We saw that rally happening last week to see if it continues.
Well, we'll see what happens. Obviously, the news kind of is dictating the trade, so that's why we cover it. Mark Malek, it's great to see you.
We have to pay close attention.
Yeah, oh, you sure do. All right.